All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Market Open. It is February 23rd, 2023. Wow. This is what happens when you've been up for 2 hours and you've been working on stuff. It is February 23rd, 2023. Still sound like a baby when I say 2023. And it is time to open the market. We've got a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, 47 people, for already being here. It is another Thursday morning on planet Earth, and it is time to spend it opening up the market. Nathaniel, morning, everyone. God bless and have a great day. Today's my day off. Going to relax and enjoy this show. Man, thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy the next 40 minutes. I'm happy to entertain and inform. I'm happy you're here. Philip, what's up? Nvidia, those puts did not print. Scott, Kevin is trying to compete with you. The market open. No. We got to beat Kevin one day, bro. We got to get like 10,000 people watching us one day. Lloyd, good morning. Glitch Life, gap and crap on the market open, followed by a nice run to 404. Max Payne today's 399. I think today's going to be an epic trading day. Very interesting. Jason, Vincent, Secco, my dad, B-Day. Thanks for the reminder. Awesome. Happy birthday to your dad. Thank you for being here. Sausage, egg, and with cheese on a muffin. Why is it so small? That's why it was a 2 for $5. So I got 2 of them. I wasn't gonna go, but like my stomach was growling. I was like I needed to eat something. So I just went and I got that. And I thought that would be a good thumbnail. Gabe says, before you guys try to roast me, I'm increasing my short position on Nvidia. They will lose all gains and then some. Gabe, you've got to respect Gabe because he doubles the F down. He does not care. He gobbles it up and doubles down. Ligma Sachs, what's up? Iceman, what's up? Good morning, Amit. Figure out a way I can donate 1 share of SoFi stock or cash equivalent at Friday's close, and I'm in. Awesome. I love it. All right, let's get into the market. So obviously some of the biggest news was Nvidia earnings yesterday. They ended up doing well. I thought that I didn't know what was going to happen, but given how richly valued they were, one could imagine that if they just had a slight miss on earnings or not the best guidance, they were going to tank. And that's why a lot of people loaded up some puts. They ended up going up 7% after hours. So Nvidia did decently well. I don't think it's sustainable. So I actually agree with Gabe on doubling down on this put call on Nvidia. Wow, holy crap. It's up 12%. I didn't even see this. $233. So puts, not only did they not print, some of these puts got destroyed. 207 to 233. Now, look, is this sustainable for Nvidia to be trading at $233? I do not think so. Not in this economy. So, I don't have shorts on it or puts on it, but I can't argue with anyone that does because it's just likely not that sustainable. The rest of the market is actually pretty green. We've got Palantir up 2% at 853, Amazon up 0.95%, Tesla up 1.92%. Tesla's CEO Elon Musk actually had a meeting yesterday with Gavin Newsom. They are making Tesla headquarters for engineering in California. You thought Elon was out of California. You thought he hated California now that he's in Austin, Texas, but basically, I guess he realized from a political perspective, it's really good to have good relationships with California since 40% of their workforce globally is in California. So making that partnership with Gavin Newsom probably makes a lot of sense. It was a good photo op opportunity and overall good opportunity. I'm sure Elon still loves California, right? That's where he built the company. Just got tired of some of the regulations. NASDAQ at 11,507. So it's up about just a little bit in the pre-market, up 14 points. We also had Alibaba today that had earnings. They beat on both EPS and revenue. Alibaba is now up 5% pre-market from $94 to $99 as well. What else do we have? 140 is fair value for me. Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of people, Nvidia was just at 109 a month ago, right? And so it's skyrocketed. Absolutely. My puts are at 250 strike and expire in a year. I'm not worried at all. Makes sense. So you have some time for that. Sasky Rose says being a perma-bear will blow up your account eventually. Who knows? We will see. Maybe, as crazy as it is, I know everyone has been saying Gabe is wrong. Gabe might end up being right. I mean, there are very strong Wall Street analysts that agree with and are actually have lower S&P targets than Gabe has for this year. So you never know what happens. I mean, there's a lot of indicators from debt to GDP ratio. GDP came in at 2.7% versus 2.9%, so it came in lower than expected. You've got inflation with the PCE coming out tomorrow. That's probably going to be hotter than expected. Does it crash the market? I don't know. We've never had a Fed stop rate hikes before we've had a recession, so likely, if history follows, we should be having an actual crash before we start pivoting from the rate hikes. But and which is what the Fed wants to happen, right? That's their whole plan, is to induce a recession. But then you've had Jerome over the past 2 weeks actually sounding more dovish than hawkish. So it's like, this is one of the most interesting times to be an investor. And I think it's so excited because most of the world doesn't give a crap about the markets. They don't care about the S&P. They don't care about these day-to-day movements. They don't care about inflation, rate hikes, all this stuff. But we all do. And we're going to remember 10 years from now what was happening from 2021 to 2023 and where the markets ultimately ended up going and who made money. Was it the Bears or was it the Bulls? Long term, obviously, the Bulls will make money. But in the short term, it might be the Bears. Netflix, 331. Oh boy, this was at 360. This was at 350 yesterday, right? Am I tripping? This was at 350 yesterday. I remember seeing this. Why did this one decline? So, yeah, look at this. It was at 353. It was literally up there. So Netflix is down to 334. I think Netflix should not be, more than 300, to be honest. So I think it has some ways to go. It is trading 97 times price to free cash flow. It's just $150 billion company. They spend more on content than the GDP of Sweden. At some level, that's great, but it's also like, well, that's a lot of expenses when it comes to content. And I don't really know if they're going to be able to keep up all of that content spend. I mean, they probably will, but the question is at what expense for shareholders and profitability. And so that's my biggest question with Netflix. Congratulations to all of those that are in Baba. I agree. Ramu, hello. California sucks, but lots of intellectual power. If you're going to just open up R&D office and space, it makes sense. If you want a whole manufacturing plant, your life is hell. Yeah, and I think that's what Elon realized when he left to Texas, that had just so many looser restrictions and regulations. But at the end of the day, so much of California is still Tesla is still in California. Netflix will lose all its Canadian customers for their new rules they're implementing. Yeah, I heard the password thing is pissing off a lot of people, which is why they didn't care for so many years. They were just like, you know what? Just use the freaking password, watch the freaking shows. Eventually we'll get you to sign up. And then they were like, well, interest rates aren't zero anymore, so people need to sign the F up. And people are like, no, we're not doing it. We are not doing it. What else do we have? Jerome Powell spoke yesterday, correct? Or like there was some Fed meeting. I think Kevin covered it. I did not cover it because I was doing other shit, but I think there was some meeting thing yesterday that was happening. And he said some stuff that seemed bearish. This is the most vague announcement. He said some stuff that was kind of bearish, but it's so weird because the dude has been so bullish or like dovish, I guess, with this whole soft landing stuff. As well. Also, job expected claims. We were expecting 200,000 jobless claims. We actually got 192,000, which I believe is also bullish. Or, well, it depends, right? It's bearish because we want more people losing their jobs to induce the recession so we can get out of this. But it's bullish if you don't want a recession. So we were supposed to have 200,000 jobs. We only had 192,000 jobless claims, which is good. That means there's less people filing for unemployment, which means there's more people working, which means there's more demand, which means theoretically the economy should be going up, right? And that's it. We got an update from Gabe. U.S. core PCE prices, prelim actual 4.3%, forecast 3.9, previous 3.9. There we go. Okay, so what that means is that inflation is higher than we thought if it's coming in at 4.3 versus 3.9%. Now we'll see how the market reacts to that. We'll also see tomorrow on some of the official numbers how the market reacts. Right now, still going pretty high. Nvidia, again, just absolutely crushing it. Kathy Wood bought 213,000 shares of Coinbase yesterday, and she sold Nvidia. And so I don't think she's allowed to sell after hours. I might be wrong about this, but if she sold after hours, she sold on a pop. But if it's just from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., then she sold before Nvidia popped. I don't think she sold a lot of Nvidia shares, but she still sold shares, maybe assuming it was going to drop. And she got that one wrong if she did. But if she sold after hours, which again, I don't know if they're allowed to sell after hours. I really don't know if the ETF like hers is allowed to do that. But if she's not, then it definitely went down. First time joining the stream in a few months. D. Williams, thank you for being back. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining the stream. We are going to open the market as always. We have about 25 seconds till the market opens. It is February 23rd, 2023. We have 5 days left of February, 28 days in this month, shortest month of the year. And then we're in March. March. 3 months into the year. The 2023 is flying by fast. I mean, I don't know for you guys, but it has definitely been fast to me. And I'm used to things going fast. At least that's what girls I've been with have told me. Anyway, the market, it is 9:30 a.m. February 23rd, 2023. Stocks are open. Wake your ass up. The stock market is open. I'm so happy no one's home when I ring that bell because I get to ring it as freely as possible and explode your eardrums and not my parents. Tesla at 203 up 1.44%. Palantir up 1.08% at 845. Nvidia up $233 at $233, up 12%, up 25 points. Not a bad day for Nvidia shareholders. Some of them might be thinking of selling and taking this 12% pop if they bought before earnings. Alibaba or Airbnb up 1%. Spotify up 0.97% at 121. Spotify just released an AI-based powered DJ. They did a nice video about it. It's an interesting product, except I thought their entire app was basically already an AI-based, recommendation engine for music, but now they kind of made an official version of a DJ thing. So if you have the Spotify app, you can check it out and see if it recommends some good music. 661 on SoFi. I bought, I think 58 shares of SoFi yesterday. Why 58? Because I was going to say 50 and then I typed 8 by accident and then it just swiped up and it was 58 shares. So I want to double down a little bit more on SoFi, but we got to get SoFi a little bit lower than 660. I would really like it in the 5s, and that would be some of the best to see how that happens. Google at 91. Got to get Google below 90. So in a sea of green, Google is still down. The market does not think Google has a shot. The market's really not giving Google any love. PubMatic 1655, Roblox 13.7, Meta 172, Pinterest $25. There's a different Nvidia. Adobe at 352, Enphase at 207. So Enphase has not fallen off yet down to the 200s. Robinhood at $10. Microsoft at let's get to the right Microsoft. Microsoft's at 250 something. Yeah, 255, a little bit green on the day. And then we've got AMD. I want to check on that one. AMD is also at $80, up 5%. So semis are doing well today. I hope the bell wakes up his entire neighborhood. That would be pretty cool. But do you have new on this list? I do not have new on this list, but I should probably get new. By the way, everyone should check out Tanner from Future Investing's channel. He is an awesome friend and dope creator, and he's been covering a lot of fintechs recently. He just covered Coinbase earnings, new earnings. I've not looked in too much into new, Tanner. We can probably talk about them a little bit more on the SoFi Weekly podcast this Friday. I will be back. It'll be back on my channel this week, 10 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be talking about all things SoFi and fintech in general. Look, Nubank is very interesting. I think the valuation is a little bit rich, but their growth probably justifies the valuation. Definitely still, I would, buy SoFi if I had to pick between one or the other, especially because I just understand SoFi a little bit better. And the Galileo aspect of SoFi is what I think is super underrated, but still super, super dope for that. Jennifer, we already did the bell. You missed it. You're in 932. We were at 930. We did the bell. I've been raving about new before since anyone else. That's true, Glitch. Glitch, can you tell me why so Glitch put out a tweet yesterday saying that they are short the S&P, long Palantir and DNA. Glitch, can you give us some reasoning for why you are long DNA and Palantir in particular? Because I think we would all like to know why those two stocks are long on. I understand Palantir, Ginkgo, I don't understand too much. Why is AMD Nvidia up? AMD is up because Nvidia is up. That's my logic. Nvidia did let me pull up Nvidia earnings as well. I mean, and show exactly what they said. So let's pull up this article right here. I mean, look, this was one of the better earnings of the year in terms of appeasing the market. So Nvidia reported $6.5 billion in revenue for fiscal fourth quarter, adjusted EPS of 88 cents, edging out Wall Street consensus. It forecasts $6.5 billion in sales for the upcoming quarter. Their CEO, AI adoption is at an inflection point. OpenAI's ChatGPT has captured interest worldwide, allowing people to experience AI firsthand, showing what's possible with generative AI. Remember, if the world is going towards AI, just like in 2008, the world was going towards mobile. Facebook, YouTube, Google, these are, WhatsApp, these are companies that won because they adopted for the mobile architecture of what would be 3, 4, 5 billion people using these devices every day. If AI and generative AI in particular is the basis for how we are going to have a new computing platform, well, then there's going to be companies that win in that race. And if Nvidia is one of those companies that wins in that race, then that's going to be a very big deal for investors. Particularly for all the different use cases and applications of AI that they can also do. Intel slashes dividend by 2/3 that day, which also shows Nvidia's growing, Intel's not. That's probably another reason investors might have been excited for it. Goldman Sachs Tohoshi Hari upgraded Nvidia to a buy and set a $275 price target. Now their data center revenue, which is I think a decent part of it, went down a little bit. It came in at 200 million, but their gaming revenue was up. And obviously the applications of AI in gaming data centers, there's so many different ways they can implement them, is part of the bull case for Nvidia, right? So it makes sense for why the market still liked it, even if some parts of the revenue were down, but other parts were up. The earnings suck for Nvidia. They only showed future potential in their earnings, which is causing people to be bullish on the and run on the AI theme. Yeah, and that's why I'm not a buyer at these prices. I mean, look, I didn't buy at 109 either because I didn't choose to do my due diligence, but I wouldn't touch Nvidia right now. It just seems a little bit too for Nvidia to get to 275. I think Apple would have to get to like what 178. Apple would have to be a $3 trillion company, something like that. And if the market's not letting Apple get to 3 trillion, if the market's not letting Palantir get to 10, I don't think they're letting Nvidia get to 275. Artist here says, I think companies while firing workers in HR still need compute power. Replace humans with compute is literally the AI thesis. Yeah, there was a chart. There's a good comment. Let me show a chart that Toby Luke, the CEO of Shopify, tweeted literally 3 minutes before I went live on YouTube. And this, I think, kind of highlights what Artist here is saying. Look at this chart of the day. More with less. Workers needed at S&P 500 companies to generate $1 million in revenue. In 1990, you needed, I'm assuming the 7 on the back is like, interesting. I don't know if the 7 stands for hundreds of thousands. I would assume it's 7 hundreds of thousands. But let's assume it was a lot of workers in 1990 up on that graph. And now it's a lot little, right? I mean, generating $1 million in revenue on an S&P 500 company, like think about what Facebook did. I mean, Facebook literally just created that verification program, and that's probably going to print $1 billion for them overnight. And if not $1 billion, it's going to be, a lot of money. So the level of workers you need to actually do things is just decreasing. And this is good at the end of the day for CEOs and companies and shareholders like us. It's not the best for employees, but that's the sort of multi-trillion-dollar question. If AI does replace everything, where do workers go? What do workers do? Now, granted, I don't think that's actually going to happen. I think you're going to need a lot of humans at the end of the day to do a lot of things with AI. You're not going to literally replace everybody, but there's going to be some jobs you just don't need to do. And those jobs, if they do get replaced, is just going to be more efficient and more effective for a lot of companies. Will Amit say AI for 2 hours? Amit, I don't think you give the graph because it's just you may want to look at what companies are in S&P 500 over the years. That's true. I mean, there's a lot of different diversity of different companies that are there, which adds to the point. I guess it's just a question ultimately of like, do you need, I mean, even software engineers, right? Like software engineers get paid $250K on average, equity, all this stuff. A lower level software engineer, do you really need them to do some of these things? And I think that's going to be one of the big questions to answer over the next couple of years. And maybe you still do, but if you don't, it's going to change a lot of different things. And that's gonna mean a lot. All right, let's look at this. Here are the top AI stocks for 2023. I wonder if Palantir is mentioned on this list. I'm gonna guess no, but let's see if it is. Also, can you all please like the stream? That would mean the world to me. It would take 2 seconds. Just give it a like. Kind of helps with the algo. I never ask for a like, but it would be super dope if you like the stream. All right, let's get into this. Here are the top AI stock picks for 2023.
Here with a look at the company's best position to win the AI arms race is Daniel Newman, CEO for the Futurum Group. Daniel, great to have you with us. Like with a lot of nascent industries, there's a couple of ways of investing. The companies that are doing it and the sort of the picks and shovels kind of companies. So what do you favor at this point in time when AI is still sort of an emerging technology?
Yeah, the reason I was really excited about seeing what happened with Nvidia was to see sort of how the inflection that we saw with Microsoft and Google the past week was going to drive investors towards Nvidia being the picks and shovel, the infrastructure company that's going to put a lot of the compute into the data centers that's going to enable this next generation. This arms race, we're going to see it move from being more this open internet, the open AI and ChatGPT, to data that resides proprietary inside of companies. So the enterprise applications and companies like IBM and ServiceNow that can build workflows and automations, as well as helping companies maximize that unique enterprise data to enable employees to talk to an application and build a new workflow, or to help a company build a new way to deliver a recommender engine to put the right product in front of the right person in a more contextual way. So we're just seeing the beginning, but I think there's a lot of enterprise applications that aren't really being considered as this is really being consumerized right now by search and by browser-based technologies from Bing.
Sure. Nvidia, you say, is the most important player in AI. They're actually selling GPUs that will enable AI to happen. But when you think about companies like Microsoft and Alphabet, which have gotten a lot of attention in recent weeks, Do you think about them really as an AI company? Is AI really a reason why you were investing in these two companies? It just seems way too early, and it seems very, I don't know, you don't really know how it's going to impact their businesses, if it will in fact be a positive thing, and by how much when it comes to earnings.
Well, I think it gives you a indication of what's possible. Microsoft did an investor call on the day that they announced the new ChatGPT 3.5, and they talked about how every 1% of search that the company is able to gain would yield like $2 billion in revenue. So you can see why Alphabet and Microsoft are fighting so hard for this search space. Of course, like I said, this is only one use case for AI, but it is going to change the way users use technology. It's going to change advertising, but it's going to take time. I think the idea that this is all of a sudden going to change everything, we've already seen a number of indications that there's some problems, that the data isn't all accurate. And then, of course, we're going to have probably some legal disputes about how things are linked and referenced.
And an answer of about 50 words on average.
Make the computer.
Okay, so basically the three stocks are Nvidia, Microsoft, and Google. They didn't mention Palantir. They see that we just don't get any love. We don't get any love. This is the fun part about being a Palantir investor is like, you know, they don't get it. And you know, they're talking about the consumer internet use case of AI. I mean, even Nvidia, it's not consumer internet, but a lot of it is supporting consumer internet, like gaming and sort of the data centers to be able to support Facebook servers and things of that nature. We're not talking about real applications of AI on the battlefield. And that's, I think, what Karp has been talking about for a long time. And outside of that, like we're talking about AI in terms of operationalizing workflows for supply chains that are screwed up. I mean, this is like real shit. And, you know, Palantir got some mainstream media love over earnings. I mean, there was a Fox News segment where there was this one guy, I don't know who he is, but he was just like, I would be worried I don't have enough Palantir shares. And it was like finally a little bit of positive media coverage. But in general, you know, Palantir's just not a big enough name to get some of the Wall Street analysts excited about AI. They're obsessed with Nvidia, Microsoft, and Google. And again, the problem is those companies are $1 trillion plus. Nvidia's like, what, 700 billion or something? Let's actually look at it right now. Google's 1.2, Microsoft's 1.9. Nvidia's market cap is, what is the market cap? 570 billion, right? So like these are very big companies. For you to get a 2-3x out of them, they've got to produce a lot of value. There's got to be a very nice bull market. The macro has to agree with them. A 2x on Palantir is, you know, 14 billion to 28 billion. It's not that difficult compared to 500 billion to 1 trillion. And that's the exciting part about Palantir, because if they are what we think they can become, then it's going to be really, really interesting. Tesla, but let's go to Lucid earnings. Lucid kind of, you know, it's sugar honey iced tea'd the bed, if you know what I mean. 14% down, $8.52. Yeah, it shit the bed. It was not good. Let me pull up their actual earnings. They barely delivered any cars. They delivered like 2,000 cars, and you know, this is interesting. The Saudis own a decent amount of Lucid, and they've given Lucid a lot of leeway, but Lucid just hasn't been able to do what they said they were able to do. Loss per share, 28 cents, revenue, 257 million versus 303 million. So they came in pretty low. Lucid said in January it produced 7,180 vehicles, well below its original expectation of 20,000. By the way, 7,000 vehicles in all of 2022. Lucid had 3.85 billion in cash. It raised an additional 1.5 billion from Saudi's public investment fund. The Saudi public wealth fund now owns 62% of Lucid. So, I mean, instead of getting 20,000 vehicles, they produced about 7,000. It delivered only 4,300 of those 7,180 vehicles. And I think that's why we've seen the massive decline that we're getting in Lucid right now at $8.51, down 14%. They say our goal in 2023 is to amplify our sales and marketing efforts to get this amazing product into the hands of even more customers around the world. CEO Peter Rawlinson said, I don't know if customers want this or if customers can actually afford this car, which is why it's probably not doing as well as it needs to do. Yeah, look, I mean, the only EV stock I'm touching is Tesla. There's just no reason to touch a different company, in my opinion. It's Tesla or none of them. Polestar is interesting. The only thing about Polestar is I haven't done a deep dive into them. I don't really understand the financials yet, but you know, it's like you got to go with a company that can actually deliver cars. And a company that can actually deliver the cars is Tesla. I want to show you guys a tweet I put up yesterday and see what you guys think of it as well. And I want to know what you all think about the tweet in terms of sort of the argument that I made. Okay, so let me do this. This is kind of what I think if we're going to have a massive crash. Jice, what's up? Good day, good day. Stormy Pure, it's Tesla, baby. It is Tesla, baby. Okay, here's the tweet. Okay, getting to the point where if we crash badly, I literally just want to load up on just three stocks, all my money in, highest convictions, let it ride for the next decade, and only worry about having to keep up in the most intimate way with three companies. What are the three companies that you would keep up with? Put it in the chat. For me, the obvious three are SoFi, Palantir, and Tesla. I think those are the three companies that, like, you might throw Google and Amazon in there and maybe it becomes five or whatever. Maybe I take out Tesla in terms of just loading up a heavier position. But those are the three that I'm like, if I really can't look at my money for the next couple years or decade, I have about 45% left in my portfolio in cash. I'm ready to throw it in when we get to the prices where it's like time to go in. And, you never know those prices, but it might be a little obvious when things get really bad, if they get really bad. And then you just drop it in and let it ride. And I think a lot of people resonate with this. It's hard to keep up with the entire market from a stocks perspective. You can obviously keep up with the news, but you can't keep up with individual tickers as much. And if you're going to invest in a ticker, I don't want to be at the point where I'm investing in a ticker to just invest in a ticker, because I did that for 2 years and you easily lose your conviction because it's just a ticker. And right, so you sell immediately, you don't care. And so I'd rather, invest in something that I genuinely care about and go down with the ship. Look at Comma AI. It's open source self-driving software, which works on any car with just a phone. I got it on my Mazda and it's amazing. So I've known about Comma AI for a while. Actually, George Hotz, who's the creator of Comma AI, was hired to fix search at Twitter and he left because I don't think anyone can fix search at Twitter at this point. They've got to do something about search on Twitter. But Comma AI is very interesting. Like, does that become as valuable as something like Tesla? I don't know, because consumers kind of like it being built in. But a consumer like yourself that doesn't want to buy a Tesla and just attaches it to your Mazda, that's also a very, very interesting thing. The application itself is just 2,000 lines of code. George Hotz is just a phenomenal engineer. So yeah, it's just a question of if they can grow it over time and keep it going. A lot of you say SoFi, Meta, Google, Palantir, Tesla, Nvidia, Square, Palantir, Crowd, Palantir, Google, MU. I forgot. This is a semiconductor stock, I believe, but I forgot what it stands for. But yes, MU, I remember that one. TQQQ. Hey, man, over the next decade, if tech becomes tech, TQQQ would be a very nice triple leveraged return. That's for sure. Where is the TQQQ right now? Let's look at it. TQQQ, where are you at? I would assume it's like 27, something like that. I haven't looked at it in a while. 23. Okay. So it's at $23, up 3% for the day. Interesting. Sorry, just took a sip of water. So we got TQQQ at 23, Baba 97, Amazon 95. Palantir is dropping 1.67%. Palantir is also hosting some defense event today. I saw on Twitter. They're like sponsoring a ton of these events. So they are getting their name out there from that perspective as well. We haven't had a big Palantir PR since earnings. So let's see if they're gearing up to give us some new news soon. Again, we're expecting $500 million revenue. I think I'm going to do a video today on their stock-based compensation. It's down about 30% from last year and almost 50% from 2021. So I want to talk a little bit about their stock-based compensation. And I also want to talk about what does stock-based compensation mean in regards to GAAP profitability. This is something Alex Karp has talked about many, many times, and why SBC needs to keep reducing in order for us to get GAAP profitable and go from there, and why it's going to be important. SoFi, Palantir, Tesla, that's what I thought. Do you watch some All-In? I actually do watch All-In. Quick little thing for me is I am, so Jason Calacanis, who is the founder and the guy who made the All-In podcast. He's the angel investor in Uber, Robinhood, Calm. I actually am I'm pitching his team on Friday, which is going to be really cool, really exciting. So you all know I have a startup. It's linked in the description, aldia.io in the background. I am pitching his team, and it's going to be super exciting. We have 2 minutes to pitch his team. And if those 2 minutes go well, then he's going to, they're going to want to meet with us for like more than 2 minutes. So it's really exciting. I've been part of his workshop university thing for the past 12 weeks. And I've been preparing this pitch for a while. I am literally doing this pitch like 50 times today. And I only had 2 minutes, right? So if you want to follow me on TikTok, I am putting up literally every video of me doing the pitch on TikTok. And I'm just going to post all 50 of the videos on TikTok. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, it's Amidst Building. I think that's what it is. It's like a startup founder TikTok thing. And I'm literally going to be doing my pitch a bunch of times and just putting it on TikTok as like, so I can look back at it. It's Amidst Building, AMITS Building. And so you guys can check me out there. And yeah, then Friday, tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, I got to do these 2-minute pitches. This is, you know, the Eminem Lose Yourself song. This is one of those moments. You gotta lose yourself. These are 2 minutes to get this done. Because if this goes well, bro, if we get Jason Calacanis, like his name is, forget the money that he would invest. He is such a big cosign on a startup because it's Jason Calacanis. Like, this guy is invested in Uber, Robinhood. He's like the startup like daddy. He's the guy. He's the guy who, like, he's the most influential, prominent Silicon Valley investor, angel investor on the planet. So there's a lot of pressure in these 2 minutes. I mean, I gotta perform. There's these 2 minutes where it's like, you cannot forget about who I am. And it's in the audio space, and Jason's always been around audio. So I think there's some synergy there, but now we got to perform. So yeah, I'll be posting that there. I'll probably post one of them on YouTube, and I'll be posting one of them on Twitter, so you can follow me there as well. And yeah, it's exciting. We'll see how it is. Weejo taking forever to get back to you, bro. Weejo, they got the interview and they're just like they're not giving me the clearance on the regulation thing, so we will see. Thank you guys for saying good luck on the pitch. I appreciate it. When is Audia going public? Well, we got to get through this 2 minute pitch first. If we get through this 2 minute pitch, we might actually have a chance of getting there. How are you preparing for the pitch? I'm just doing it over and over again. I mean, for me, I spent like the past couple hours, or this past night, like visualizing what I want the story to be, what I want the punchline to be, what I want the moments for them to really feel it. And then I put it out on my Canva pitch deck. I'm still finishing that up. And then I just do it over and over and over again. And that's it. That would be crazy. Watch him invest and put his pod on Audia, bro. That would be kind of crazy if we could get This Week in Startups on Audia. That would be kind of cool. All right, let's get into the talking heads. Let's see what they have to say. See what they are discussing as well. All right, let's look at this. Fed minutes show all participants favored rate hikes in terms of inflation. Fear skews to the upside. So the narrative is changing. The market does not think inflation is going away. Here's some thoughts from the Fed minutes yesterday. Oh, that's what happened yesterday. The Fed minutes. That's what we had to stream. Okay, here it is.
Get over to Steve Leisman, who has been reading between the lines. I love when he reads between the lines. Tell us what it says between those lines, Steve.
My takeaway is that minutes of the January meeting, Andrew put markets on notice that for the moment, there's only one species of Fed official. I call it the greater or the lesser hawk. The result is the debate is only about how much higher the Fed goes and how quickly it gets there. The minutes said that all were saying that more rate hikes were appropriate. Most preferred a 25 basis point hike so that they could feel their way to that higher rate. A few preferred a 50 basis point hike, which is, by the way, more than the two we know of, but we're kind of speculating who maybe a third is. Inflation risks were to the upside, economic risks to the downside. Still, the Fed wanted to hike more. Importantly, there seems to be few, if any, arguing about the lagged effects of the Fed's aggressive rate hikes or concern about over-tightening. The staff even saying a recession is possible. The meeting took place before the blockbuster January jobs and retail sales reports and those higher than expected inflation reports that we got. Barclays writing this morning, based on the latest data and upside risk becoming more pronounced, we expect more FOMC participants to revise their 2023 dot from 5.1% to 5.4%. It would take only 2 or 3 to get that new average there. The futures market gradually getting to that place. The peak rate now seen at 537 in August, and the year-end rate now at 518. That is above where the Fed is now, so the market's kind of getting ready for that possibility of a higher year-end rate. While the Fed's default hike for next meeting is probably still 25 basis points, it won't take much, I don't think, to put a 50 on the table. With both jobs and inflation reports coming out before the meeting, we get a chance to ask all these questions exclusively tomorrow to Cleveland Fed President Loretta Mester, one of the 50 club members. This will be on Squawk Box at 8 a.m.
So he said there's two types of Feds, hawk and more hawkish. And I think he's kind of right about this, even though it is so confusing because, like, literally 2 weeks ago when Jerome was on that stage with David Rubenstein, when he was telling his salary, he makes $190,000 a year, which is a decent amount of money. $190,000, not crazy. I thought he would actually make more than $190,000. But he was saying, like, look, a soft landing is potentially possible. Like, maybe inflation's not that crazy. And then the narrative just changes in a nutshell, right? It just changes. It's just like Palantir when the narrative started to change. It's just like, it's so crazy. The market goes up and down. Jen says 50 basis points incoming. Yeah, I mean, like, look, that might just be what happens. We might just get 50 basis points and that's it. But maybe after that 50 basis points, we're done. But if inflation doesn't go down, it's probably not. Now, we kind of knew this was coming because, again, going from 7.1 to 6.5 is a lot easier than going from 6.5 to 5.1. It's just harder, right? So we kind of knew it was not going to be easy to get inflation down even further. I think when we were 9% in June, going all the way down to 6% now makes sense. But like getting 6% to 2%, which is what the Fed really needs to do, 6% inflation is still not good inflation, is difficult. And it's complicated. On top of that, you've got all these, and this is why I'm bullish on this ticker right here. You've got even more heightening tensions with Russia and China. Vladimir Putin just gave a speech yesterday, basically saying, screw the West, screw their ideals. He kind of was like hinting at nuclear stuff. And it was just like, it doesn't seem like this dude is effing around, even though, is he actually going to launch a nuclear bomb? I don't know. Then you've got China saying we're very good allies with Russia, meeting up with them. You've got Trump, who pulled off some good, Trump is a master marketer. While Biden is in Ukraine, Trump went to East Palestine, Ohio, and he was handing out water bottles, and he was like, this is marketing Trump 101. He's like, yeah, you're going to worry about Russia. I'm going to worry about people in the United States. Now, granted, I do think we have to worry about Russia because it's pretty intense. But here's another point about Palantir, okay? I was listening to Arnie yesterday. He made a good point about this. The United States government has given Palantir $112 billion, okay? $112 billion. Sorry, they give the Ukraine $112 billion. Ukraine has to spend that money, right? If Palantir even gets 1%, or like if Palantir gets $1 billion out of that 100, is Palantir not worth if what they're actually saying is actually happening in terms of targeting and Russia and all that stuff? Like if their software is actually some of the foundational software that's helping Ukraine become the giant amongst Russia, even without a nuclear weapon, like how much of that money is going to go to Palantir? And this is a serious bull case argument for Palantir because the US just gave them $100 billion. They said, Ukraine, we're giving you $100 billion. That's 1/8 of our entire defense budget every year. Palantir didn't charge Ukraine anything in the beginning because they were kind of like, hey, use the product and see what the product does. But at some point, they're going to have to get paid, right? I wonder, if Palantir can scoop up a couple billion from that. Like imagine they get $2 billion in 1 year from that, or over 3-4 years. That increases that CAGR of 30% annual growth immediately. Like right now we're at 20% or 24% last year. We're at 20% this year guidance. That could easily go to 30 if we are able to snatch up some of that money. So I am very interested to see how Ukraine spends that money and if Palantir can get any of it. I would imagine they have to get some of it. The question is, how much would they really be able to get? That would be the interesting part. 0.25, relax. Okay, so maybe we're doing 0.25. Maybe we will see. We are in a crash foreplay mode. I love that. That's a good one. We are in crash foreplay mode. Today is a buy Palantir day and sell 750 puts. What is the puts? Let's see the puts on or the premiums. Log into the good old hood. That's Robin, and let's see these puts. I'm actually interested in the premium they are giving on 750. Let me just log in. My password. So I have to verify my identity, of course, because if you don't verify your identity, how would they know it's you? I would like a $30 premium would be nice, but I think 30 might be a little bit too high for some of these premiums. The government is not going to help Palantir unless they say they are taking their tech and going home. Well, I mean, look, if the tech is, I mean, that's kind of what Palantir would say, right? They would be like, look, if the tech's working, then the tech's working. And so you should probably pay us because the tech is working. Okay, let me put Palantir here. Okay, so let's go to Palantir. We're going to open it up right here and we're going to see the puts premiums. Okay. So we've got, if we do trade options, I want to sell a put expiring on, let's do March 17th. Okay, so can you guys see this? Yes, you can guys see this. Okay, so for 7.5, they're giving an $18 premium. For $8, they're giving a $34 premium. So that's $34 divided by 800, which means you are getting 4.25% on your money. Let's do a little bit earlier. Let's do March 10th. March 10th is a little bit less, actually. Interesting. Okay, let's do April 6th. What are they doing on April 6th? Wow, so these are $48 premiums. That's actually amazing. What's that? 48 divided by 800? What's that? That's a nice 6% premium. That's not bad for April 6th. That's 42 days from now. Question is, do we think Palantir will be $8 by April 6th? I don't know. Given how the market's going, I have no clue. We would have to see. 100 billion to a country 7,000 miles away to piss off a nuclear armed country. Meanwhile, how much to our own city that just got chemically poisoned due to corporate negligence? Yeah, and I think that's, the big issue that a lot of people are concerned about. That's the biggest thing that a lot of people are concerned about. That's what a lot of people are mad about Joe Biden for. But we will ultimately see if this pays off more, or just helping Ukraine, or any of this money actually allows them to beat off Russia. That's going to be an interesting thing with all of this happening. And again, I think Palantir can really get a decent amount of this money going to them. At the end of the day, I don't know if you need to give Ukraine 100 billion, but you do need to make sure Russia doesn't win. And if Ukraine needs the aid, then I guess it seems like that's what you have to do. The question is just how effective is it going to be long term? And if it is, then then this might end up not being the worst thing overall. Okay, guys, that's it for me. It is 10:01 a.m. I am out February 23rd, 2023. Thank you all for being here. Beat off Russia. We've got to beat off Russia, but let's see. We don't even know if Putin's playing, if he's joking. Like, there's just so many things that are going on here that I think this has been going on for a year. Literally this year around this time, I live streamed at 3 a.m. for like 400 people when this Russia invasion actually started. And it was crazy to see how it was happening then and how it's still not gone. All right. That's it for me. Thank you all for being here. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Have some videos coming out later today. Pitching Jason on Friday. Thank you all for the well wishes. You can follow me on TikTok, Amit's Building, and all my pitches will be uploaded there. I'm going to record myself a ton of times. And on Twitter, @Amit is Investing. I'll probably record some there, and I'll probably record 1 or 2 of these on YouTube. So, Amit, you've got this. Damon means the world. Austin, you're the man, Amit. I appreciate you guys. All right. That's it. Have a great week, everyone. I'm going to see you tomorrow morning. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.